Nonsense 1. Aaron's continued compliance despite Joseph's increasingly abnormal behavior. Throughout their time together, Joseph exhibits bizarre and alarming behavior. He startles Aaron by appearing suddenly and insists on hugging him upon first meeting, engages in peculiar activities such as miming tubby time in the bathtub while naked, attempts to scare Aaron repeatedly by disappearing and reappearing unexpectedly, reveals a frightening wolf mask associated with the Peach Fuzz persona, and provides inconsistent narratives. Finally, in the diner, Joseph reveals that he secretly photographed Aaron upon his arrival. Despite these accumulating anomalies, Aaron continues to comply with Joseph's requests, including returning to the house for drinks. In reality, this is implausible. Joseph's admission of photographing Aaron marks a significant escalation in his behavior, crossing from odd social boundaries to outright stalking, which would reasonably trigger Aaron's self-preservation instincts. Joseph's violation of social norms in presentation of threatening stimuli would typically result in cognitive dissonance and the reassessment of the situation's safety, and Aaron's expected reaction would be to remove himself from the situation to mitigate potential harm. Nonsense 2. Angela's inconsistent behavior. Joseph's sister's behavior indicates she has prior knowledge of his violent tendencies and recognizes the danger he represents to others.
Listen, I'm going to recommend that you go ahead and just leave. Right now.
Even if we assume she has not escalated the matter to appropriate authorities due to familial ties or other factors, her decision to reveal such information to a stranger undermines her otherwise minimal intervention. If she is willing to acknowledge her brother's behavior to Aaron, she risks exposing herself to potential consequences such as legal or personal repercussions, yet refrains from taking more decisive action to mitigate the harm Joseph could cause. Nonsense 3. Failure of law enforcement to assist Aaron. After returning home, Aaron receives a disturbing package from Joseph, prompting Aaron to contact the police to report him, with the entire telephone conversation lasting some 54 seconds. However, the operator advises Aaron that law enforcement cannot help him without more specific details about Joseph's identity and location.
Well, I'm glad you're taking this seriously. You guys have been entirely unhelpful. I'm sure I'll be sleeping soundly tonight.
In reality, it is implausible that Aaron's stalking report would be dismissed within less than a minute because he lacks Joseph's full details. He has tangible evidence and traceable leads, and a call taker would normally ask basic triage questions, document the report, and provide immediate safety guidance. The scene depicts near total procedural disengagement, which is atypical, even allowing for variability and occasional institutional failure. Nonsense 4. Joseph's ability to stalk Aaron without detection. After experiencing stalking behavior, Aaron takes proactive measures to secure his apartment. He is shown locking his doors and using a power drill to reinforce the lock mechanism on his entry door. Despite these precautions, Joseph is able to enter Aaron's apartment undetected. In reality, bypassing reinforced locks and security measures requires specialized skills, tools, and time. It could result in visible damage or noise that would alert the occupant or neighbors. Yet the film offers no explanation for Joseph's ability to identify Aaron's location and effortlessly breaching hence security. Nonsense 5. Aaron's decision to re-engage with Joseph. Aaron exhibits significant distress regarding the possibility of Joseph returning and harming him. He experiences vivid nightmares and hypervigilance, describes difficulty sleeping, and takes measures to secure his home. Despite this, Aaron later agrees to meet Joseph, driven by empathetic concern and his apparent motivation to find closure. This decision is inconsistent with human self-preservation instincts and Aaron's established psychological state. Aaron's earlier actions and emotions suggest he perceives Joseph as a considerable threat. While victims sometimes seek closure or attempt appeasement, the film provides no intervening change in information that would plausibly convert Aaron's heightened distress into a willingness to meet Joseph alone. Nonsense 6. Aaron's vulnerable sitting choice. Waiting for Joseph, Aaron decides to sit on the bench facing the lake, leaving his surroundings largely out of view and failing to monitor potential approaches. This reflects a lack of situational awareness that is in stark contrast with Aaron's established distress and hypervigilance, making the entire scene inconsistent and implausible. Nonsense 7. Joseph conspicuously murdering Aaron in public settings. At the park, Joseph, wearing the conspicuous Peach Fuzz mask, approaches Aaron from behind, pulls an axe out from under his coat, and kills Aaron with a single blow to the head, all without drawing attention from anyone else. This scenario is highly implausible for a serial killer. Concealing an axe under a coat is impractical as it would create a noticeable bulge and hinder movement, likely attracting attention from potential bystanders. Also, the Peach Fuzz mask is unsettling and would be conspicuous in a public setting, potentially alarming witnesses and prompting intervention or calls to law enforcement. Finally, public parks, especially during daylight hours, are frequented by visitors engaging in various activities. The presence of a bench suggests a commonly used area, and houses are visible across the lake, indicating that the location is not isolated. Nonsense 8. Joseph's ability to repeatedly lure victims without detection. At the film's conclusion, Josef is shown arranging a meeting with another videographer, indicating that he has a pattern of luring and murdering individuals under similar pretenses. The ease with which he finds and engages new victims is implausible. Firstly, the unusual nature of his job offers. A high-paying assignment involving filming in remote locations for clients who remain strangers would likely raise suspicions among professionals. Secondly, the disappearance of multiple individuals connected to similar circumstances would likely attract law enforcement attention, which may reveal patterns of missing persons associated with freelance videography. Thirdly, Josef keeps incriminating evidence, including video recordings of his crimes and personal items from his victims. Retaining such materials increases the risk of discovery, either through accidental exposure or by law enforcement searches. Finally, Josef's reliance on his victims not informing anyone about their plans or whereabouts significantly reduces the plausibility. Nonsense 9. Inconsistencies in Josef's use of names. Throughout the film, Josef identifies himself to Aaron using his real first name as confirmed in the phone conversation with Angela. However, at the film's conclusion, Josef introduces himself as Bill to supposedly his next victim, presumably to conceal his identity.
Hello. Yes, this is Bill.
This behavior is a significant inconsistency. Firstly, if Josef habitually uses false names to hide his identity, there is no explanation for why he would reveal his real name to Aaron. Secondly, if Josef only begins using false names after Aaron's case, this behavioral shift is neither implied nor explained. In real life, the film would have to end at around 0 hours, 24 minutes and 55 seconds after Josef reveals that he secretly took photos of Aaron upon his arrival. At this point, Josef's actions, combined with his earlier erratic behavior, pose a clear and undeniable threat, making it implausible for Aaron to remain in the situation. The continuation of the narrative beyond this point depends on Aaron making a series of unrealistic decisions that contradict human self-preservation instincts, thereby undermining the film's logical progression.